I want to quickly talk to you about the OppFi unsecured credit card. This is a great credit card that actually does not pull your hard, does not do any hard pull or soft pull. They don't check your credit at all. And guess what? They give you up to $1,000 in credit limit. Isn't that great? That's just fantastic, right? Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Story Kiwi Show. How are you today? Hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about the OppFi unsecured credit card. Here is a credit card that actually does no credit check. This is just wonderful, okay? And you can use your credit card the same day you are approved. So here is the overview of this OppFi credit card. The regular purchase APR is kind of high though. It's really high, 36%. I mean, actually 35.99%. Okay. The cash advance APR is the same thing. The card has an annual fee it's $99. Okay. If you have a fair credit or poor credit, you could qualify for this card. And this is a MasterCard. And the beauty of this is that they don't check your credit score at all. Think about it. If you already have a bad credit, you don't want to, reduce your score by 10 points or 20 points with another hard pull. So this credit card does not do any hard pull at all. And the card is unsecured. In other words, no security deposit is required. No impact to your FICO score when you apply. And the cool thing here is that the payment history is reported to all three major credit bureaus, okay? And on-time payments may increase your credit score, so always make sure that you pay on time. And the cool thing, one thing you need to do with this card is that you want to pay the full balance, because the APR is already high. You don't want to carry balances with a card that charges you the maximum APR. Not at all. Another thing we love with the OppFi credit card is that you have 100% US-based customer support available by phone or email, and they're available 24/7. This is kind of cool because let's say you have a problem, you don't want it to be directed to Asia or Africa or Latin America. You really want to speak to someone here, so this is kind of cool. And you can prevent unauthorized charges by freezing your card if it is misplaced, lost, or stolen. So, folks, I'm just giving you an idea of the OppFi unsecured credit card. Okay, so when we talk about this credit card, the maximum limit is $1,000. Maximum limit $1,000. The APR maximum is $35.99, and they do charge you an annual fee of $99. Now, who is the audience of this card? So let's talk about the target audience. Okay, so this card is ideal for those who want to repair their credit score without a credit check. If you have less than perfect credit, but you want an unsecured credit card, if you plan your statement balance, if you actually plan to pay your statement balance in full every month, if you do this, what will happen here is that you will only pay the annual fee of $99. And this is the kind of card that you actually keep for 1 year just to boost your credit score, and then you just close it, okay? Because otherwise they'll keep charging you that much every year, and you don't want that. And if you want same-day access to your $1,000 credit line, this is a great opportunity. This is a great card for you, okay? It's $1,000. And one thing I want to say here is that the fees are simple. Regular purchase APR, 35.99%. Cash advance APR, the same thing. And there is a cash advance transaction fee. So this is either $5 or 5% of the amount of each cash advance, whichever is greater. Okay, don't forget that. And there is a foreign transaction fee. So 2% of the transaction amount in US dollars. And there's a late payment fee that's actually up to $39, and a return payment penalty fee up to $39. The bottom line here is that the card actually is, this card is settled with, the card has many fees. Okay, so you really want to consider this card only if you are trying to build or rebuild your credit. Okay, and one thing for sure, there are better alternatives out there. The only reason why we are reviewing this card is because a lot of viewers have have asked us to review the card. So the card is great. It is we love the fact that there is no credit check. We love the fact that you can get a $1,000 credit limit right away, same day account access. Okay, as long as you are fine with paying $99 every month, not every month, every year. If you're willing to pay that amount, that's fine. And the cool thing is that they actually review your account, and after 6 months, OppFi may increase your credit limit. They probably can bump you up to a $2,000 or $3,000, depending on your credit history at that time. Let me quickly talk to you about some key features that you love with this card. And it's really important that, so when we talk about the OppFi unsecured credit card, one of the winners, one of the most important features is the same day access to your credit limit. Okay, so once you actually are approved, you get access right away. And this card is only one of a few credit cards for bad credit or fair credit that provides instant access to the credit line upon approval. Okay, unlike other cards, OppFi provides successful applicants with their full card details, allowing them to use the card the same day through the OppFi Card mobile app and syncing the card with Apple Pay or Google Pay. Okay, so this is really, really good when you think about it. Okay, $1,000 right away, fantastic. If you are approved, the APR is kind of high though, folks. So this is a card that you really want to use, but you want to make the full payment. You want to make the payment in full every single month. Do not carry a balance, otherwise they will just bury you with crazily high APRs. Okay, so talking about fees, I've already told you the fees. So don't forget the $39. It's important. Don't forget the $99 for the annual fee. Then you have the $39 for the late payments. Okay, you have the 2% foreign transaction fee. Really important to remember. And here are other card features that you might want to pay attention to. Now, I've already said that they do have US-based customer personnel. This is kind of cool because, again, you never know. You want to contact them. You want to talk to someone who is who can understand the problems that you are telling them. Okay, and you also can freeze and unfreeze your card. You can do this through the app, or you can do it by phone or email. This is really great. Okay, and one thing I also want to say here is that they do have EMV chip technology, including tap and go, contactless payments, and mobile wallet compatibility. It's important to say that one thing we love with this card is that it gives you options. Okay, this is the kind of card you want to choose if you have tried other cards and you were not able to find a solution to your credit problem. Then you would say, you know what, $99, this is a fee I have to pay once a year. I will do this for 1 or 2 years. I'll just bump up my credit score, and once I'm done, I will close the account unless they are able to delete that annual fee. I'll close the account and I'll just move on with my life. Let's talk about eligibility, folks. So when we talk about, first of all, this card, they will actually send you solicitations in the mail or via email. Okay, or if they don't send you anything, you can actually apply yourself. Okay, in terms of income, they want you to make at least $10,000 a year. Your FICO score is not needed. Okay, but you might have to prove employment. So this could be what? It could be W-2s, 1099. In some cases, they might want to see your tax returns for last year or the last 3 years. Okay, and it really depends also on the state you are applying from, because remember, when we talk about credit cards and loans, those are state affairs. Everything is regulated at the state level, so it really depends. So those are the conditions. You need to have proof of employment, minimum $10,000 a year. You need to be at least 21 years old or 18 with either a parent's permission or a verifiable source of income. Really important. You got to have a social security number or an ITIN. ITIN stands for Individual Tax Identification Number. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that for this card, you can actually, you don't want to use this card for balance transfers, not at all. Okay, it's not made for it. You can't transfer a balance to a card that charges you 39.95%. That's just crazy. So don't do that, okay? And the thing here is that you don't want to use this card also for to add an authorized user. Not at all. There are better cards out there. There are better alternatives. This card is something that you want to use this card as a solo project. This is only you. You are using this for 1 year, maximum 2 years. And once you are done with it, once you are able to bump up your credit score, you close the account. And one thing I want to say here is that you can apply online. You can apply in the mail if you have received an offer, a pre-qual offer from OppFi. You can just fill out the form that they send you and send it back to them, or fax it back to them, okay? And or you can just apply online. Now you can also call them. You can call them and just give them your information, and if you are lucky, they'll pull some numbers, and they'll see if you qualify. And if you do, you'll get the $1,000 credit limit on the same day, on the spot. Now, let me talk to you about the evidence needed. So when we talk about the OppFi unsecured credit card, obviously they need some evidence to make sure that you are basically legit. So one thing they pay attention to a lot is your revenue, sources of revenue. So let's say you have a job, right? So you are basically making money, and you say, I'm making 10 grand a year, or I'm making 20 grand a year, I'm making 30 grand a year. All right, boss, you need to prove that. Okay, you need to show me something. Can you show W-2s? Can you show your tax returns for the last 3 years? Can you show your 1099s? You got to show something, okay? And in some cases, they're able to let you actually tell the employer to send a letter of employment. In other words, you are able to verify employment through a letter of employment from your company. This is possible also. And one thing that the OppFi is kind of cool with, if you want to co-apply for this card, that's fine also. In other words, let's say you and your spouse both have bad credit, and you're trying to work on this together. Okay, you can co-apply, and one thing that will happen here is that they would want to see the pay stubs or the pay information, the income information for your spouse as well. So two incomes combined will be a better deal than one income, depending on how low or high your income is. Okay, so just think about that. So, and in some cases, they might also want to ask you about your financial statements. Okay, remember, they're not checking your credit, but they would love to have more information about you to see how much money you are making, what your expenses are. And something that's really important for OppFi is something called DTI. We have covered DTI on other shows. Okay, so we are talking about your debt to income ratio, your DTI. Okay, your DTI actually tells OppFi how much money you are currently allocating to debt servicing, to servicing your existing debts. And if your DTI is kind of high, let's say your DTI is around 50% or more, this is a bad sign. Okay, it's a bad sign, and you want to keep your DTI at around 30%, 35%. That's the sweet spot. 30%, that's really the sweet spot. I'll be right back. Right after this, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Straight Kiwi Show. We are also having a conversation about the OppFi Credit Card, and this is an interesting credit card that actually approves you right away and without checking your credit. Okay, and so how do you apply? So for this credit card, you can apply online or via mail. Okay, OppFi does not maintain branches. You don't have to walk into a branch and say, I'm going to fill this form and I'm going to apply for this card. Not at all. No, not at all. So the thing here is you can also apply via their app. So one thing you want to do is you want to simply open the OppFi Card mobile app, available for both Apple and Google Play Store. And basically you actually can apply from there. And this is actually the fastest way. Okay, and so applying takes minutes, and there is no impact on your FICO score. I want to repeat that. It's really important. So OppFi basically uses several metrics to judge your credit worthiness and not just your credit score. So besides the basic credit information available from a soft pull, okay, OppFi also uses employment history, bank account balances, and other information to evaluate your suitability for their credit builder card products. So one thing I need to say is that OppFi pulls Experian. Very important. So you really want to check your Experian credit report before even applying for OppFi. Okay, they do pull Experian, nothing else. They don't pull TransUnion, they don't pull Equifax, they only pull Experian. Very important. Okay, and what I want to say here is that the application process allows the OppFi card issuer to provide greater access to credit than some other credit builder credit cards, which is really great if you have less than perfect credit. Okay, and the cool thing here is that if you're just getting this, you are getting a soft pull. That's wonderful because you are risking nothing. Okay, if you get approved, fine. If you don't get approved, that's fine also. And this is where you want to be. If you already have bad credit, you want to monitor and be very careful about whatever hard inquiries you have on your credit. This is really important. Before closing today's conversation, I want to give you a few pro tips. Okay, well, of course, we are talking about the OppFi card, and one thing I want to say here is that should you even apply for the OppFi Card MasterCard? One thing I want to say here is that this card is an exciting credit builder card, thanks to its easy application process, straightforward credit line, and same-day credit access. Okay, because most credit repair and credit builder credit cards require the applicants to wait up to several weeks before accessing their new cards. Okay, but not so with OppFi. You simply need to download the app and you gain access to your $1,000 credit limit the same day by adding the card to Apple Pay or Google Pay. And the cool thing here is that the card does not require a hard pull on your credit file. This is really good. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that you have to ask yourself, am I willing to absorb the $99 fee? There is an annual fee of $99, and am I willing to absorb that? That's number one. The second thing is, am I disciplined enough to pay my balance in full every month? Because if you don't pay your balance in full, I've been saying this throughout this show, you are going to be slapped with a 35.99% APR every single month, and this is kind of high. Okay, so this is what it is. But overall, when we talk about the OppFi Card MasterCard, if you want to increase your chances of being approved, please, you want to keep your documents in order. So I'm talking about all your accounting and tax records. Okay, you have to be able to demonstrate sufficient cash flows. I was telling you earlier that OppFi will look at your balance sheet, they'll look at your bank statements, and they will see whether you are pulling enough revenue to be able to repay them. Okay, so you want to gather your documents, your tax returns, your bank statements, your financial statements, both for yourself and your spouse if you are co-applying. Okay, it's important. And one thing you want to be very clear about is that you need to make sure that you communicate with OppFi about like, let's say, your financial situation. Okay, this is important. And one thing you also need to be clear about is your the payment due date. All right, so you want to have an automatic reminder so you have a clear idea when the payments are due. Very important. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. Today, I was just talking to you about the OppFi credit card, and this is a $1,000 credit card, no credit check, really wonderful. And I give you an overview about the card, the audience, the key features you need to pay attention to, your eligibility, the evidence needed, how to apply, and I give you a few pro tips. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.